Most of the people here know me already. I'm Ebru Okatan. I will introduce the third lesson, the final lesson today. But if you're starting with the first lesson and not the third one, that would be no problem. You can start working with the first and the second lesson, keeping in mind what will wait or what is waiting for you in the third lesson. What is planned for today's kick-off? We will start with a short review about lesson 2. What did we learn in lesson 2? And afterwards we will just have a closer look how lesson 3 is structured, what is the content of this lesson here, which assignments you have to work on. Then we will have a little bit interaction in the third step. The last part of the third lesson is designed as a competition, and in the third lesson you will design your own open badge project. And if you have to work in the first 2 lessons, you can just start thinking about an open badge project, in which direction could you go, in which field you could design an open badge. And then I have some information about the MOOC, following MOOC, my contact information as well. If you have got any questions, you can contact me. What was lesson 2 about? As you know, the last lesson was about the technologies for open badges. Here we had some questions asked, for example, how do open badges work? How is the metadata of an open badge structured? Technologies of open badges, information material about different tools were given here. For example, different tools, what tools are used, which online tool is better for what or for what type of badge. And a very important topic here was the metadata of the open badge. So how is it looking in a badge? How do I put the relevant information into the badge? You learned this here in the second lesson. And there was an assignment in which the values were discussed. So we learned about potentials, but also about the limitations of open badges. So you had to discuss pros and cons. Now let's have a closer look at what is waiting for us in lesson 3, open badges in practice. And this application level starts with the question, what should be considered in your open badge project? This is the first unit of the third lesson. As you remember, we told that we designed this last lesson of our MOOC as a competition. So the last part of lesson 3, the assignment will be a competition. And here we thought about awarding a special badge. I will give you more information about this point later. You need to know that in this lesson you will develop your own idea about an open badge project. And unit 1, you start to think in which direction, as I just said, your project could go. And in the first unit, some tips and advice from open badge experts will be given, and here you'll learn about design principles which could be important for your own open badge project. Here we are asking the question, how can you prepare for your open badge project? And we're getting to know what the open badge design canvas is and what it is used for. We'll see in some example projects how to use the canvas, and then we will start planning our own badge. And unit 3, this is the final challenge. And here you create your own open badge project. As I said, this is the competition part. You will choose your online tools for designing your badge. You can, for example, think about how could your badge look like and how the badge is going to be issued. So you will pilot your own badge, or you can just test the tool and try to issue it to yourself, how the technique of that tool or the platform is functioning. And This is the structure of lesson 3. Again, as always, this lesson consists of 3 units. Lesson 3 also consists of 3 units, and each unit has got its own assignment which you have to pass. And if you successfully finish your lesson, you're collecting 3 badges, and lesson 3 gives you the third and final badge. But we have 3 assignments which you have to pass. The first assignment is about the design principles, just about thinking how, as I just said, your badge could look like, for example. That is one part. In unit 2, you have an assignment where you can plan your open badge project, the concept of your badge, and the third one is that will be the open badge competition. This one, successfully completing your lesson, the third lesson, you will be issued with this open badge. There you have got the 3 stars. This one is for the application level, and you can earn 2 badges. So in this last unit, this is a competition, and we thought about awarding a special badge to the best open badge project. That means that could be 2 good projects or 3 best projects. And yes, now I planned an interactive part, but just let me ask, is there anyone who has got a question about the MOOC itself, or for example, the third lesson? Doesn't care. Any questions so far? No questions. Okay, then let us start with, or let us continue with breakout sessions. I will open breakout rooms to brainstorm, for mind mapping, just for collecting some ideas. You can exchange, for example, in which field am I working? Maybe you can think about an open badge project in your own working field. Just collect ideas, have fun, exchange with the other participants. Maybe there is somebody who already has got an idea about an open badge project. Maybe you have ideas about which tools you want to use, or you can think about a badge design. Just have your time. Let us say 10 minutes, and after 10 minutes we will come back to the main room where we are now. Yeah? Have fun. See you in 10 minutes. Welcome back. Did I interrupt you?
Yeah, so you interrupted
Yes.
Tiziana.
Oh God, okay.
No, it was really interesting.
Yeah, I'm really happy to hear that. That was an interesting round. If you want, just let us finish this, because I didn't want to interrupt you.
Tiziana was sharing with us her idea about how to teach to Tiziana. Maybe
My idea was the first idea that I started in my first blog. I work in the domain of climatology and meteorology, and I am a project manager for web application, and in particular climate service application. And or also the building internal research data infrastructure. My short-term idea was to build a specific training path, and also to have a specific open badge for data steward in a specific domain, climatology and meteorology, to manage, publish, and analyze, validate data of this specific domain, because often this task is assigned to informatics people, but it's not evident that the people that have skills in informatics, in database management and data model and so on, have also the knowledge on the domain, and so to understand the content and value of data, like the units and true of different database. And I think it's very important, because then this data will be published on public platform or research data infrastructure. And I stop because this.
That sounds really exciting, very interesting. Thank you for sharing, Tiziana.
Okay,
thank you for that.
To you.
For me here again, I will just remind you about the survey. You can just mention in those surveys what you find well, what could be improved. So there's lots of stuff. Maybe you can give us some more ideas how we can design and structure those kickoffs. The link you will find in the lessons abstract when you're starting with the lesson. And I'm sharing a blog post in Emma, and you will receive a notification or an email. As I said, you would really support us by joining those surveys, yeah? And this one again is my contact information. I got emails with questions, but if there's any problem or if you have got another question, you can just stay online and we can just clarify. And as I said, a second MOOC will start. Just for you to know, if you're interested in this field, maybe you can participate in the second MOOC as well. The date of dedication is, it is screened here in the end of March, because we are finishing this first MOOC. Today is the last kickoff and we're starting with the last lesson. But just for you to know, you have time for working on the lessons. Yeah, when you're starting with the first lesson, that doesn't mean that you have to work through all the 3 lessons in 1 week. The MOOC is opened, or it's not going to be locked up. Yeah, so you have your time. But if you're finishing in time and you're interested in the second MOOC, you can join it. We will give more information on Emma as well. I will share, or we will share, a blog post with information about the second MOOC. As I know, I think I'm right, but the second MOOC only consists of 2 lessons, just for you to know. Maybe someone of you will join it. So this was my part. Is there anyone with a question?
I'm interested in the next MOOC, but I'm happy that this one will be open, because I asked you last time if I can keep my the material, you know. Okay, so
I remember.
We can log in again after this MOOC and read the material if we need.
Yeah,
thanks.
Because I can just show you. Let me just close this one. We had that last week as well. Here. So you're seeing my screen, right? Okay, just for the new ones here in the round, for example, when you're starting with the lesson, this one is the first lesson. When you're starting here with the lesson, you have got the information box with information about the lesson. Here, the course materials. When you're scrolling down, this was the point Sarah asked, her blog information she posted, but also we have got external resources and study materials. So every time you can just use those links. You have lots of external resources. You can use them whenever you want. Yeah?
Ebru, can I stay with you for a moment?
Sure, sure. I'm here. I'm waiting for you. And the other ones, I hope I will see you again. It was really nice for me working with you here the 3 weeks. And if you have got any questions, just write me. Yeah? Have a nice evening.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ebru. It has been a pleasure to know you.
Yeah, on my side as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a nice evening.
You too. Bye.